Hi, this is Jamie Franklin, curator here at the Bennington Museum. Welcome to another tour at 10. Today I am standing in front of one of the larger objects in our collection, maybe second only to our Martin Wasp automobile. This is a ceramic monument that was made by the United States Pottery Company, which was a ceramic manufacturer that was based here in Bennington from the late 1840s until it closed just short of a decade later in 1857. Christopher Weber Fenton who was the founder of the United States Pottery Company, came from a long line of potters. His father, Jonathan Fenton, settled in Dorset, Vermont, right around the turn of the 19th century, around 1800, 1801. He and his brothers became involved in the business. And then in the 1840s, he married into the Norton family, of course, of the Norton Pottery Company here in Bennington, known for their manufacture of mainly stoneware. But Fenton was a bit more of a entrepreneur. He was interested in innovative technologies and in creating more decorative wares. And so this monument was created as an advertisement for the United States Pottery Company and was the centerpiece of their display at the 1853 Crystal Palace Exposition. So anybody who's familiar with world fairs like the 1876 Centennial Exposition, which was in Philadelphia celebrating the centennial of American independence from Britain, or the 1893 Chicago World Fair, the 1853 Crystal Palace Exposition in New York City. The Crystal Palace itself was actually, you can see a little engraving of it here, was at 6th Avenue and 42nd Street. And it was based on the Crystal Palace Exposition, which happened in London in 1851. And these were two of the earliest of these major world fairs in which companies like the United States Pottery Company would send their latest wares, so art, mechanical, engineering, farm equipment, all of the kind of cultural and mechanical products of a nation would be sent to be highlighted, kind of what America was making and doing and creating. And so this was the pottery's contribution, and it really highlights three of the wares that they became famous for. So the base of the monument is made out of what is known as Scrotal Wear. So it almost looks kind of like marble. It's marbleized. In this case, it's three colors, kind of an off-white, a yellowish tan, and a chocolate brown. And this is actually not glaze, but this is actually three different colors of solid clay that are mixed together, slabbed, and then cut, so you get this marbleized effect. This was one of their less common motifs or materials that they made. They did make pitchers and other utilitarian wares out of it. But they decided to use it for the base here. Here in the middle section is probably what the United States Pottery Company is best known for. This is what was referred to as Flint Enamelware. Fenton actually received a patent for this. And what it is they would take crushed mineral, metallic elements, copper and other things, and sprinkle it on the clear glaze on the pottery before it was fired. And those metallic elements, when they fired in the kiln, would create these beautiful streaks of color, yellows, blues, greens. And so this is what the United States Pottery Company was most famous for, and they really highlighted it here in the central section of this monument, which was the centerpiece of their Crystal Palace Exposition. And then, capping off the monument at the very top is a figure of a Madonna and Child. And this is made out of Parian. Parian is a type of ceramic, white. It looks like, named after Parian marble. Some of the greatest marble, Greek marble, came from the island of Paros. And so Parian is a reference to the Greek island of Paros, where Parian marble came from. The Parian porcelain that the United States Pottery Company was making was some of the finest and earliest porcelain that was being made here in the United States. And so they were really showing off their skills. And their display at the Crystal Palace actually got illustrated in a full-page illustration in Gleason's Pictorial. And it was reviewed glowingly. Horace Greeley, who was a famous journalist, writing for the New York Tribune, said that in the United States Department is an exhibition which is well worth the observation by all who delight in the progress of American art and skill. And that was in reference to the display of the United States Pottery Company, and particularly this monument. After the United States Pottery Company showed this display, they had a big boom in business up through about the 1855, but by 56, 57, they were in trouble. There's lots of theories as to why they kind of boomed and busted so quickly, but after the pottery closed down, this monument ended up on a porch here in downtown Bennington. It was actually a home that was owned by Judge Luman Norton and his son-in-law, Christopher Weber Fenton. As I mentioned, Fenton married into the Norton family. It's a house that's still standing on Pleasant Street. And this monument actually sat on the porch for over 100 years until it was given to the museum in 1868. And it's now one of the centerpieces of our, of course, very important collection of Bennington-made ceramics, featuring both the wares of the Nortons and the United States Pottery Company. So that is the story of this monument, which is really one of the great pieces of mid-19th century American ceramics. So thank you for joining me for another tour at 10, and I'll see you again soon.